I have this giant shop but no seats. So my good buddy Matt Cremona is visiting from Minnesota and we are gonna make some shop seats out of some scrap wood. Very good Vanna White impression. These seats are actually something I've been wanting to tackle for a while. They were inspired by a fabulous New York-based furniture maker named Ethan Abramson. He has these stools he builds that he calls maze stools. They're made from different woods and have a very random yet elegant look to them. And with Matt and I only having a single day to knock something out, I figured it was the perfect project.
Just like how crazy you want to get, you know?
Oh, it's your thing. It'll be like your contribution to my shop. This piece of walnut and your seat. I also thought it would be really cool to incorporate a scrap from Matt's shop. So I told him to toss something into a suitcase for me. And of course, with it being Matt, he brought me a beautiful piece of air-dried walnut that he milled himself. To get started, we rounded up other cutoffs of hardwoods from my lumber rack. I had 2 good chunks of walnut and found some maple, and Matt found some small pieces of curly maple he used. We divided them up and then started playing with our designs. The great thing about this project is there is absolutely no right or wrong. Mine is pretty simple, whereas Matt went a little crazier with his, even throwing in some end grain into the mix. I was aiming for my seat to be around 14 inches. So while I was building up mine, I would use a tape just to make sure I was getting the width and the height needed on the initial build-up. Once that looked good, I started playing with adding more to the design. For example, I wanted a strip of maple across the top. So I grabbed a thinner strip and used a pencil to mark on the bottom walnut its location. Then I took it over to the table saw and cut along these pencil marks, which allowed me to insert the maple strip where I removed this material.
I just like, that's so cool, right?
Yeah.
It flows together so nicely.
I cannot believe that, it just naturally happened. Alright, with the general arrangement of our seats figured out, we started on the first glue up. Since I don't have a jointer, we mostly used the crosscut sled at the table saw to get the gluing edges nice and flat, then started clamping things together. This part is a little funky because lots of things are cut at angles, so they want to slip and slide once you start applying pressure with the clamps. But I promise, if you play with it enough and get a little creative, you can hold things together. Okay,
oh, yeah. Who can figure out how to clamp weird stuff? There we go.
It's pretty legit.
Yeah.
Looking.
Can't pull apart. They can't slide away from each other because this clamps hold them together. Huh? Yeah.
After letting that set for an hour or so, we unclamped our pieces and started cleaning up the edges for round 2. On mine, I just cut the left side flush so that I could add another board of maple to this edge. Then Matt cut his sides flush to add more walnut and curly maple to both of the sides. Well, I'll be. After letting round 2 glue ups dry, Matt attached the adjustable circle cutter router base to the router. Then we turned these funky little creations into circles. You can see we placed a spoiler board below the seat just to protect my new workbench top. Then used carpet tape, which is a really strong double-sided tape, to hold down the seat. For the cut, we used a spiral upcut bit made by Infinity, and since it is pretty thick, we took 3 passes to cut all the way through. One tip to remember if you do this project is to attach your seat upside down so that what will end up being the top of the seat is facing the workbench. This will make the screw hole from attaching the router in the bottom where it will be unseen instead of on the top. Alrighty, with that done, next we moved the seats to the super jaws outside because the next step was to start dishing out the seat some. Just to give a visual reference to follow, we used a compass to pencil on an offset line and then started sanding away material. While we're dishing those out, let me talk to you about this video's sponsor, which is Trade, a coffee subscription service that delivers coffee straight to your door. I don't know about you, but the experience of having a good cup of coffee in the morning is something I truly look forward to and enjoy. It is by far the most relaxing part of my day. Trade partners with 50 of the best roasters in the US and has over 400 unique coffees. The website has a very simple quiz that matches you to a specific coffee depending on how you personally like to drink it. But the best part is they don't roast the beans until you order it, meaning it is ultra fresh. Big thank you to Trade because they are giving the first 100 people to click the link in the description and use my code 50% off their first order. After taking the quiz, I was personally matched up with Conscientious Objector, which is a great blend of hearty, smooth, and chocolate sweetness. Trade also has gifting abilities, and I personally think with the holidays coming up, this would make the perfect gift for any coffee lover in your life. So again, 50% off for the first 100 people to click the link down in the description. Before applying finish, we took our seats over to the router table and used a 1/2 inch round over to round off the top edge. This not only looks a little nicer, but it'll also make it feel nicer on the back of the legs when actually using the seat. Then something I did on mine is I placed a small chamfer along the bottom edge of the seats. Now, if you can believe it, I did not push the record button when I applied finish on my seat. I know, I missed the best part, but I did capture Matt's, so that's the second best part. After he signed the bottom, he applied 2 coats of Danish oil, and oh my goodness, I think both of them came out very pretty, which most of that credit goes to the walnut and maple. You just simply cannot beat this combination in my opinion.
How'd that?
Beautiful. And stunning and lovely. All of those descriptive terms. Matt and I actually made these 2 seats back in August, and 2 seats is not enough for my shop, so I decided to make some more. And I love the concept of taking a scrap piece from a friend and incorporating it into that. So for the past few months, if I knew I was going to be seeing a friend, I would tell them to toss a scrap into their luggage for me, and I've come away with quite the haul. I ended up with enough pieces to make at least 6 more stools. So that's what I did this last week. I mixed and matched the pieces to get a very Mod Podge sort of look, but I also try to maintain good aesthetics with color coordinating them. One thing I didn't pay any mind to is grain direction. Wood, of course, wants to expand and contract, so typically you want to keep the grain all going the same way so that it moves together and doesn't bust apart. But these pieces are so small, I don't think it's going to create an issue. But hey, we'll see. The 2 Matt and I made this summer are still looking perfect, if that's any indication. Oh, and I just have to point this out. When I was resawing this chunk of olive wood and book matched it, it creates an angel. See here, the wings on the outside, and then a robe with the hands coming together as if he's praying. I thought that was the coolest. You can see that I placed a small sheet of wax paper under each one of my glue ups, and this is just to keep me from gluing it down to any of my workbenches, which almost happened. Something I made this go around to help with visualizing is a cardboard cutout. I used 14 inches as a template, and then I could place this ring over my workpiece to see if I liked the direction it was going or where on the board I wanted the circle to be placed. Each seat had at least 2 glue ups, if not 3, but since I was building so many, I was easily able to keep busy making another while things were drying. Of course, this is a great project to use up some of your smaller scraps, but I think it would be a really fun group project. You know, you call up some of your woodworker friends, everybody bring 1 or 2 pieces of wood and gather in somebody's shop. I recommend whoever has the most clamps. And then spend the day building a seat for your space while enjoying friends' company. Then everybody gets to leave with a memento that's usable. It's really cool to look at them all at the end and see just how varied they all are. At this point, I was really questioning on if they were going to come out looking good or not. But I will tell you that after cutting them down into a circle, they do look much better. Something I did this go round, since I have so many, is I used double-sided tape to temporarily secure all of them down to my workbench, and this made going over each one with my sander a little bit quicker, rather than placing them one by one into my super jaws for holding. Alright, now hopefully this compilation of finishing shots makes up for messing up the footage on the first one. I mean, truly, it is the best part. Next up, I will be making some bases to go with these tops. I have a pretty fun idea I can't wait to try out, so stay tuned for my next video to see them complete. Big thank you to all my friends and viewers who toted a piece of wood across the country to contribute to my seats. My butt appreciates it. I'll see y'all next time.